Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be looking at Ethereum. We have moved up a little bit more and we're going to be talking about where we think this is going. It's had a nice little run here and we're going to be talking about whether we think this could start to turn around or whether we think that we do still have some progression to the upside. So stay tuned for the options that we're currently looking at. Before we jump into that though, I'd like to say thank you for watching this video. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and why not leave us some feedback down in the comment section down below. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Okay, so let's get on with dinner. So there's two ways that we're looking at this, and potentially this is one of them where we're looking at potentially a bigger ABC here, where we could look to push up towards this 1401 zone. And we'd be looking at that potentially as an A, B, and a C, ending with a 5-wave move. Though we don't have confirmation of this 4th wave yet, and we haven't managed to break back above this 1352 zone, so we need to just be aware that the other potential of breaking down is still a possibility. However, we'd want it to start sooner rather than later, and we'd want to actually start losing some of these support zones and breaking down below these lows of 1236. 1181 and then finally 1150 if that is playing out. So we'll talk about that in a second, but what we're looking at with this move is the potential that we could actually still see some upside here. So the way that we'd be looking at this potentially with this is basically that we'd be looking at this as a 5th wave move to the upside here, and it is possible that we are completed into here. It depends how you count this structure. It is possible that this wave 3 is here, in which case we'll be looking for a deeper retracement. However, it is also possible that we can count it as we have it shown here, where this is we have this 4th and a 5th wave still to come here. So basically, if we look at this white count here, what we'd be looking at here is basically we've come into this common retracement zone here, and that could be satisfied, and we could look to move to the upside from here. However, looking at the structure, I think that it's probably more likely that we're going to actually see this develop as an A wave. We move up for that B wave, and then we look for rejection. Then we look, for rejection, move down, and then look for this 5th wave to the upside. So depending on how far down we go here, we'll slightly alter this this box that we have at the top here. This box is currently targeting out this 1372.38 to this 1354.58. So that's a typical 5th wave area we could look to hit. That is provided we actually find support for these 4ths. So if we would be looking for this as a potential 4th wave, what we'd be looking at is this is an A wave, looking at that B wave to the upside, and then looking for that further progression to the downside. So as a B wave, we would be looking for this to come back up. It's actually come and hit this 50% already, so it could technically be completed. Alternatively, it could move sideways and basically drop back down into these zones, find support, and then push back up again. And that could be looking towards this 1333. All the way up to sort of this 1338 zone would be an acceptable area for B wave. Though, like I said, it is possible that we've completed into here and this is an A, B, and we look for this push to the downside now. It is also possible this becomes a bit more complex and we move sideways. If I don't see any reason why we would be complete here, but we have come into the box. So if we actually take this top area here of 1344.89, basically, the area I'd be looking for then is potentially this 1363 to this 1352 area as an extension to the upside in the 5th, and we'd have to look at that then potentially as this 4th being here, and then we look for that push to the upside. Though I do think that we need this to play out a little bit more. I don't think this is completed myself, but we'll see whether we actually break back above there or whether we just continue to sell off into these zones. So potential area we could look to target is this if we look at this as a potentially completed move within here, what we could argue is that we could look to come down towards this 1-to-1, which would be this 1302 zone. Though these zones here as well could be quite interesting. This 1309 to this 1307, that could be a potential area we look to move down to. It is also possible, like I said, that this moves up slightly higher and then potentially moves this one-to-one target and could put it somewhere in this zone. So it is possible we could see something like this, where this is an A, B, C, and then basically what we form is a bigger structure like this, and then we look to push down for that one-to-one into that zone there. It doesn't have to go one-to-one, so if we do break down from here, basically it is still possible. The 1 hour stochastic is low at the moment, so it is possible that we actually look to push up directly. The 4 hours got some room as well, so it is possible that we could actually look to just move up from here, though failing to take this high point here, then I'd be looking for a move deeper down into this potential support zone. So basically we'd be looking for there is that that move, there's a one into this zone, and then looking for this fifth wave to the upside. So what we need to bear in mind here is if we, however, actually start to pull down deeper here, we could still look for this third wave potentially to be here. And if that's the case, what we'd be looking for as a fourth wave within this move, if I get onto this low point, actually it's this one here, get onto this low point here, up into this high point, let's do it like this. Slide this bad boy across. Then we could be potentially looking for a move down into this 1279 to this 1260 zone. That would be an area we could be looking to target out if we've actually completed this third wave here, and we're having this bigger fourth wave to the downside here. So this is obviously looking for this breakout target. That would then potentially take us up towards that one-to-one. Let's have a look. So then that would take us up here. Let's get rid of this one. So that could then potentially look to target out this zone here of this 1398 to this 1365. Obviously this is depending on how the waves form exactly, but if we do actually pull back straight from here, then it's possible we could actually look to find support in this zone again, then push up for this fifth wave into this area here, and then look to actually break down from there. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. There is, like I said, both options are still valid until we cross this 1352. It is also possible we could just start to break down from here. So we just need to give it some time and see how these play out. Once we move above this 1352, it then becomes it invalidates the potential of that bigger 5-wave move to the downside from this point over here. So all of this is a 1, 2, and then looking for that 3. So if we give it once, if we do cross this red line at 1352, then that invalidates, and we just have this target that we're looking for here. That would be what I'm looking out for there. So the problem is, like I was saying, until we actually cross above this 1352. It is still possible that this is just a corrective structure within here, and this is a 1 and a 2. So like I said, if that was the case, what we'd be really looking for is the potential to complete within this high point here, and you'd have to look at it basically as maybe having a 1, 2, 3 and short fourth and a fifth within there. I don't really like counting it like that, but it is possible. But what we'd want to see here then is to start breaking down, and effectively we'd want to not cross back above this 1344. If we did, obviously we wouldn't want to cross this 1352 at a maximum. So it would be possible that we could still have a fourth wave in here where this is a 1, 2, 3. We've got a fourth wave here and we get some kind of a truncation or something, and we don't actually manage to reach it, but it is looking quite likely that we're going to cross that point. So however, if we remain and we have this high, effectively what we'd be looking for, instead of having this as an ABC pattern, is we'd be looking for this as a potential 5-wave move. And what we'd want to see there for this to be validated would be looking for this as a wave 2, and then we'd want to see that wave 3 come in. And effectively within this, what we'd want is, if I throw this onto, this is given the current structure. If this pushes up a little bit more, it obviously changes these numbers slightly. So off our current area, this 1284 zone would be our typical third wave move. If we had to move back a bit higher here towards the, let's Let's have a look and make sure that I just want to see. I think that is the one, the 618. It's a little bit higher. So the 786 is up here. So let's go with the 786. Give it some room to the upside. So if we had to move up towards that 786 area, then effectively that 1290 would become our typical third wave. So we just need to be aware that we don't start to break down here, because we have this, what we can potentially call a 5-wave move in here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 into that low point. We need to just be aware we could actually form impulsive structure to the downside. So we'll just have to wait for confirmation. This move, if it starts to get long as an A, B, and then we look for that C wave, and it starts to get quite long, it's possible we could set up for something like this. Though even this wouldn't be confirmation of the breakdown. This would just be a single 5-wave move in isolation. And like I said, we're looking to potentially target down in that zone anyway for that bigger 4th wave. So it could just play out that we have an A, a B, and a C, and we fall into that zone, and then we still rally to the upside. So there's a few things we need to bear in mind here. Until we break past this 1352, we could always still break down on a bigger scale. If not, basically then what we'd be looking for is that target zone. My next area that I'd be looking for is that target zone, potentially of this 1401 at a 1-to-1. Obviously, once we have a bit more structure here, we can sort of speculate a bit more as to where that might be on the by doing the subwave counting. But until that happens, we just have to give it a bit of time. Okay, so I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. How high do you think it's going? Why don't you let us know in the comment section down below? I hope everyone's enjoyed this, and we will see you in the next video. Take care out there, everybody.